Hello science fans and welcome to SHE-ensya's Corner. Here we kick back, relax, and talk about science events, both great and mundane, in the life of your resident Filipino scientist. It's February 13, science fans. I am Shauna Camille Vinci Cruz Abeledo, your resident Filipino scientist, and welcome to episode 12 of SHE-ensya's Corner and the 100th video of SHE-ensya. So for this week in quarantine, we celebrated women and girls in the field of STEM, we welcomed a new Lunar Year, and tomorrow is another Valentine's Day. Science and gender equality are both vital for the achievement of the internationally agreed development goals. For the past 2 decades, the global community has exerted all efforts to inspire women and girls in science. Yet, we continue to be excluded from participating fully in the fields of STEM. At present, according to UNESCO data, less than 30% of researchers worldwide are women, and only about 30% of all female students select STEM-related courses when they go to higher education. Globally, female students' enrollment in information and technology courses are just 3%. For natural science and mathematics, just 5%. And in engineering, construction, and manufacturing, just 8%. And this is believed to be because of long-standing biases and gender stereotypes that are steering women and girls away from the sciences. Even the media, movies, and TV series reflect similar biases, as only 12% of on-screen characters with an identifiable STEM job are women. Now, celebrations like the International Day for Women and Girls in Science may not seem like a big thing, but it is a constant and loud reminder that females deserve full access to and participation in the sciences. Science fact: did you know that there is actually scientific evidence that women have biological characteristics that make them suitable for the field of STEM? A paper by Halpern et al. Published in 2007 found that women tend to significantly excel in verbal abilities, especially in assessments that involve writing. So the female advantage in communication and writing actually gives us an edge to excel in many academic fields. The same paper shows that on average, girls also get higher grades in school in math classes at all grade levels, and do slightly better on international assessments in algebra. And though men were found to dominate the visual spatial intelligence, that also gives them a unique edge. At the end of it, there is no biological basis that explains the disproportionate number of men and women in the fields of STEM. What? Except perhaps a culture that does not provide enough motivation for women to go into the field of STEM. Personally, I remember when I was a kid, I loved the color pink. But based on what I saw on TV and on movies, if I liked pink too much, then people would think I was a girly girl and wouldn't take me seriously. So I decided to dress in reds and blacks and blues, hoping that the world would see me as a serious individual that they should not take for granted. When I came to college, I loved wearing colorful large earrings, but a male professor once told me that it made me look frivolous and that I cared more about my looks than my studies. So I stopped wearing dangling earrings and even stopped wearing makeup altogether. Anything that would make other people think that I cared more about how I look than how I developed my brain. Regulations from various medical, educational, and professional institutions also made me believe at one point that having unnaturally colored hair made me less competent, less professional, less respectable, and less able to do my job as a scientist. So I dyed my hair back to its natural color and decided that I wanted to be seen as a legitimate scientist. But there is a huge variety of women in science. We can be wives and mothers. We can be single. We can be athletic. We can be artists. We can wear nose strings and tattoos, do belly dancing, or even pole dancing. We can look whatever we want, be whatever color, size, or ethnicity. Because at the end of the day, what distinguishes us would be our work ethic, our drive, and our push to create a positive change in society. So mabuhay to my fellow women in STEM. Ipagpatuloy natin ang laban upang mapalawak pa natin ang maaaring marating ng susunod na henerasyon ng kababaihan sa siyensya at teknolohiya. Now, on this same weekend, we also celebrated the Chinese New Year. Now, this year, we welcome the Year of the Metal Ox, with lucky colors of metallic gray and aqua blue. Now, you may be wondering why the Lunar Year, as they are called, are named after creatures, 12 in fact. It is actually based on an ancient Chinese tale. The story goes that a race was organized by the Jade Emperor, one of the most important gods in traditional Chinese religion, who invited all the animals in the world to take part. 12 species turned up at the start line: a pig, a dog, a rooster, a monkey, a sheep, a horse, a snake, a dragon, a rabbit, a tiger, an ox, and a rat. As a reward for turning up, the emperor named a year in the zodiac after each one, while the race would determine the order each animal would be placed. Now, the race included a wide river for all animals, great and small, to cross. Well, this proved a very difficult feat for the tiny rat, who was already exhausted at this point. So, it convinced the kindly ox to allow it to ride its back as they crossed the river. But instead of saying thank you, when they finally reached the finish line, it jumped off the shoulder of the ox and ran across. And this is why the rat is the first animal in the cycle, followed by the ox. The remaining 10 animals made their way at their own pace, and thus the order of the Chinese zodiac was established. Science fact! Unless you've installed a different software or a different operating system, you and the rest of the world would be tracking time using the solar calendar. This calendar is based on the sun's movement, tracking time using tropical years, which measures the length of time between two vernal equinoxes. A vernal equinox is a unique day in the year where the sun is directly above the equator and the night and day would have equal lengths. In the lunar calendar, on the other hand, it is the time the moon takes to pass through each of its phases and return back to its original position that counts as a month. A lunar month takes about 29.5 days, and since 12 lunar months make for a year lunar year would have about 354 days, unlike a solar year that has 365. And now that we're all in the year 2021, regardless of whether you're using the sun or the moon to track time, we can now talk about Valentine's Day, which falls on February 14 of the solar calendar. The original story that inspired Valentine's Day gets a little dark. Though there is a bit of confusion about the history of the subject, Valentine's Day is ideally a day that celebrates the martyrdom of Saint Valentine, a temple priest who was beheaded by Claudius II for helping Christian couples get married. Despite its dark history, the holiday has now been associated with our infatuation with the celebration of love and courtship. Science fact: love, or infatuation, becomes addictive because of 3 hormones. The first is oxytocin. Oxytocin is a hormone produced by the pituitary gland in the hypothalamus in your brain. Its production is triggered by constant proximity to an individual and results to a feeling of fondness and attachment, regardless of whether that person likes or loves you back. Ouch! The second hormone is dopamine, produced by the hypothalamus and is a player in the brain's reward pathway. Dopamine is released by the brain as well when we see the people we like, even if they don't want to see you back. And finally, there's the hormone norepinephrine that is released together with dopamine when we experience things together with someone we're attracted to. Norepinephrine and dopamine makes us giddy, energetic, and euphoric, making us believe that nothing truly feels better than if we were in love. even if you're stuck in the friend zone. Now, if you want to learn more about the science behind love, infatuation, and heartbreak, please watch the video specials that will pop up over here at the end of this one. And that's it for SHE-ensya's Corner this week. For more updates about the goings-on at SHE-ensya and your resident Filipino scientist, please follow SHE-ensya on Facebook and SHE-ensya in Instagram. Drop by our website also at www.sheensya.com. You can also follow my personal IG account at chona.abeledo. I hope you were able to enjoy and learn something from our episode of SHE-ensya's Corner this week. If you did, I hope you can give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please don't hesitate to message me, your resident Filipino scientist, in the comments section below. Thank you very much, and see you around!